Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, with the launch of the new Warzone map, it means a couple of things. First of all, it means more people are hopping back into the game, but it also means a whole lot more secrets and a whole lot more Easter eggs. With Verdansk, we had the bunkers and several different secrets hidden throughout the map, and with the Caldera, it is no different. In this video, we are going to go over all of the secrets in the new Warzone map, which includes bunkers. It also includes these secret hatches, 13 of which are hidden throughout the map, and on top of that, some hidden map locations as well that we are going to go over everything in this video. Now, before we do, I just wanted to say there is only 1 day left in the Inkslasher merch drop. If you want to get your hands on it, now is the time to do so. Get it before it's gone. First link down in the description, inkslasherapparel.com. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, so if you want to get your hands on some of them, click that link down below. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. Some of you have already started to receive it, which is absolutely insane. I can't believe it shipped out that fast, but I'm glad you are. And if you do get your hands on it, feel free to tweet it at me, send it to me on Instagram. I'll try to share some pictures of you guys rocking the merch. But anyway, first link down below, check out the merch. And anyway, let's dive into all of the secrets, all of the Easter eggs on the new Warzone Pacific map. So to start things out, in the opening cinematic of Warzone for the story, we see Captain Butcher crash land his airplane into the Caldera. And upon doing this, he then gets out of the plane and walks towards something. It's a hatch in the ground that is labeled the year 1939 and has some Nazi insignias on it. Upon doing so, he then opens the hatch and goes down inside. He then says, "What I found will essentially blow your mind."
Certain. The world would never be ready for what I found.
Well, as it turns out, if you go to the beach by Lagoon, you can see Butcher's crashed plane. And similar to the cutscene, if you simply walk up the beach a little bit, you can see that there is one of those hatches in the ground. At this point, you could think, okay, maybe they just did this for the cutscene. But as it turns out, there's 13 different hatches hidden around the Caldera. And I have to say, Geeky Pastimes did an incredible job putting together a map for this with all of the locations. This is his map. I took it from him. Hopefully he's okay with it. I will have his YouTube channel linked down and below. All the credit to him. He is the one that put the map together. Check out his channel, link down below. But as far as the map goes, there's 13 of these hatches and 1 bunker. So let's start off this video by showing you where all of these hatches can be found. Keep in mind, at this point, none of them can be opened, interacted with, or anything like that. They're just there to be found as of right now, and some of them are very difficultly hidden. And if you don't believe me that some of these are hidden, let me give you some examples. The first one that we have here is by Ruins, and this one is covered in foliage, like someone covered it in bushes on purpose so people wouldn't find it. Another one that is really well hidden, and I think this is actually my favorite one, is by Power Plant. Off the south of Power Plant, there is a waterfall, and upon going to this waterfall, you'll notice that there are 2 sides to it. The right, there is nothing there. However, if you go to the left side, you can actually go underneath the waterfall, and inside can be found one of the hatches. To my knowledge, this is the only waterfall that you can actually go underneath and inside, and obviously, it is hidden there on purpose. Now, some are definitely hidden, but others are right in plain sight for people to see. An example of this is just south of Arsenal. Behind 2 buildings up on a hill, you can just go out here and see one of these little hatches hidden right out in the open for everyone to see. The next one that we have is also right out in the open at docks. This one is right in the center of the main dock area. In amongst all of the buildings, you can just see one of these hatches right out in the open. The next one that we have is a little bit to the east of Airfield. Dropping in from the sky, you can see it up on this hill here. This is one of the ones that's just kind of hidden amongst trees. Nothing too special about this one. Pretty easy to find. Speaking of the ones that are up on hills, one of the ones on the biggest hills is actually at mines. It's actually perched on a hill right up above mines. You can see some artillery equipment and things along those lines, but in amongst that is another one of the hatches. From here, you can overlook mines, and it's a pretty high location for one of these hatches to be found. The next one is a little bit more hidden, but also at the same time easy to find. First off, there's a couple of ways to find this. The first of which is if you go to the side of Peak, you can find some mine shafts, all of which lead underneath Peak. Under Peak, you can find a little bit of a waterfall, but also at the bottom, there is a hatch. Now, upon looking at this, you can look around and find some loot in this area, but on top of this, you can take zip lines up to the top where you reach Peak. The next one can be found in fields. Now, this one's one of the more obvious ones. It is behind 2 grain silos, as you can see there, and behind it, you will find another one of these hatches. Pretty out in the open, pretty easy to see. After this, you can go just north of the capital, one of the busiest areas on the map, and here you'll find a couple of buildings and a radio tower. In and amongst will be another one of the hatches. Again, a very easy one to find, and there's really not much disguising or hiding this one. Now, if you go a little bit west from there, just outside of Resort, you will find the next hatch. This one, there is kind of like this little island surrounded by just a little bit of water, and you can see this one very easily. It's up on top of this little island, and again, really nothing hiding this one, kind of out in the open, very easy to see. So the next one that we have here is actually the first one that I ever found. It's just outside of Subpen. And as far as this one goes, it is sunk into the ground, kind of in these bunker looking things, but not a bunker. And it's just on top there. You can see it clear out in the open. And as you can see, the helicopter was causing me some pretty big issues with this one. And then the final hatch we have here is located near Beachhead. Now this one's kind of up on a hill close to this green tent. It is very out in the open. There is no cover around it whatsoever. So as you can see, there's a big difference between a lot of these. Some of them are right out in the open, up on a hill, very easy to see, where others are hidden in waterfalls, covered in foliage. It's going to be interesting to see what they actually do with these hatches when they open and how you get inside. But as for now, this is all of them that we know about. If people find more, feel free to tweet them at me, let me know down in the comments. But as of now, these are the 13 total hatches. But that's not it. Because yes, there are a lot of these hatches, but there is one other thing. A bunker, almost exactly identical to the bunkers that you see on Verdansk. However, the difference is that on this map, at least as of right now, there is only one of them. It is located on the side of Peak, one of the biggest locations in amongst the map. But the interesting thing about this is as of right now, there's no green light above it. You can't get inside. On top of that, the little keypad is not as in use as of right now. My best guess is that somehow all of these hatches will be tied directly in to the bunker, as they are kind of color coded in the same way. You have the concrete, you have the red on them, you also have the same sort of metal, and I'm guessing all of those kind of hatches are going to have to do with how you open this bunker, kind of similar to what we saw with the phones on Verdansk. But as of right now, it is locked, but the question is, for how long? Now, moving into some of the other Easter eggs or secrets that can be found throughout the map, these ones are a little less obvious. The first one that we have is a building close to Beachhead that you may find a little bit familiar. Upon going inside, the layout looks very similar to something we've seen before, and in fact, if you've been playing Call of Duty for a while, you'll recognize this as the first ever zombies map, Nacht der Untoten. The inside is exactly the same, which is of course designed after a campaign mission, and on top of that, the multiplayer map from Call of Duty World at War Airfield. Now, what's interesting about this building is, first of all, it looks identical to Nacht der Untoten, but on top of that, the things that can be found inside are interesting. First of all, you can see the Project Phoenix logo everywhere. There is a giant map of the Caldera, and on top of that, you can see some other maps of the Pacific Ocean with some other islands involved as well. Now, I'm not sure if they're ever going to do anything with those, if they're going to make like a Rebirth Island 2.0 on one of these islands, but as of right now, it is just an interesting thing. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is this is not the only room that is like this. In fact, if you go to Arsenal, there's this little shed that has a ladder leading down to, once again, one of these war rooms. Inside this war room, you can once again find another giant map of the Caldera, along with the same map that we talked about before of the Pacific Ocean, with a couple of different islands. This is unlike any other of the buildings that we can see in Verdansk, other than the Nacht der Untoten building that we saw before. I don't know what this is for. You can see some numbers hidden on the map, but as of right now, this is just kind of a mystery. Is it just an interesting looking room, or will it have something to do with the hatches and bunkers to come later? At this point, we don't know. Now, this isn't the only map that makes a return in the Caldera, and that is, of course, Shipment. Now, this one should be no surprise to anyone, as this was kind of teased early on, but this one is at docks, and it makes sense because of the shipping containers and things along those lines. Now, what's interesting is this is kind of the old version of Shipment, not the one that was brought back within Call of Duty Vanguard. It has the more traditional layout of old school Shipment back from Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4, which I find pretty interesting, but there's not much more to say. It's Shipment. And then the last map that is hidden amongst the Caldera is Macon. Now, this is one you may not have realized right away. It's located by Beachhead, and it's an older map from Call of Duty World at War, and there were two versions of this map in World at War, Macon Day and Macon Night. This is a more representative version of Macon Day, but what you'll notice is the outside buildings with the roundhouse building right in the center. It has the exact same layout with the kind of walkway going from the middle of the map, and I thought this was a pretty cool tip of the hat. This makes me wonder if Macon will make a return in Call of Duty Vanguard or not, but is really cool. It's one of the first maps I ever played in a Call of Duty game and brings back some good memories for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all of the secrets and Easter eggs currently in Warzone Pacific and on the Caldera. I tried to wrap them all up into one video, make it as short, sweet, and simple as possible so that you guys can go explore them for yourself. And if you did enjoy the video, it is always appreciated if you hit that like button. If you're new here, like what you see, be sure to subscribe, turn notifications on. Let me know what you think of all of these down in the comments. Let me know what you think is going to be happening with the bunker and hatches next. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making